Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghu, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Mr. Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. Sitting here, we made it back. Went to bed at 2 a.m. last night. Now we're here with Miss Mara, spinning the dials. We've got a kid sleeping on the couch. House is a mess. Garden's overgrown. There's cucumbers and zucchini everywhere.
How are the sheep doing?
The sheep are good. Chickens, the guinea fowl, are good.
Have you checked their hooves lately?
As a matter of fact, we did. We did a little hoof thing with them the other day, sir.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I got a little hoof clipper. Yeah, I've got to put this place back together. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, things are going. Like my new shirt.
I don't quite.
This is from Vulcan House. This is their Danzig parody. Which, if you know Danzig, he's the singer of the Misfits.
He doesn't wear pink.
He doesn't wear pink. And this says, what does it say? I can't see it.
Love and light.
It says love and light instead of the Misfits or Danzig or terror or horror. It says love and light, and it's got the Danzig skull in pink.
Okay.
I like it. I think I look good in pink, Mara. What do you think?
I agree. You do look good in pink. You look good in all colors, actually. It's an
All
interesting
colors,
thing about
right?
you.
And I'm
You
a
make
hat
the
guy, too.
colors
I can look
more
good in
beautiful.
hats, too. I look good in hats. I don't have a lot of stuff going for me, but I look good in hats, and I can wear crazy colors.
Well, the hats might mess up your hair now.
Yeah.
Don't get too carried away, though, Raghunath, with the hats or the colors.
With externals?
Yeah.
I use externals to attract people to my internal.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
You were wearing like socks, like you had this jacked up dhoti, like at the Rathiacha, like you
And
jacked
high
the dhoti
socks. That's a
like,
look.
to your
It's sort of
knee,
like,
and then
it's sort of like-
sneakers and high socks. I didn't.
yeah, it's like a cholo sock, half a dhoti, canvas sneaker.
Then a yellow shirt,
Yeah,
bright yellow.
I like that. That's one of my looks. I've been wearing that look in Vrindavan a lot, actually.
The socks.
You know what?
though.
You know what I like about Vrindavan? It's just like everybody just
Doesn't
wears
matter.
whatever they want to wear. It's like a free for all,
Okay.
and that's sort of like I fall into that. There's uniform people like yourself. They fit into a box. I'm
This is where he
okay with
tries
that.
to minimize me. You see that? It's such a weak attempt. Nice try, Raghunath.
Oh,
But you used to be like this flowery, like you would wear those gopiskirt.com flowery kind of. You had a different thing going on. The
Yeah,
vest was a big thing for you. The fancy vest and
Yeah, I still go
the
there.
long
Still go
lungi.
there. I still
Now
go
you-
there, man. It's crazy bridge bossy. That's my look.
all right.
Now I wear the cholo dhoti. Chandra calls it the cholo dhoti.
Okay.
So all right. So we got to get back in track. It's hard to get back on when you just come from another thing and you got 1,000 things on your to-do list. I have to go get a heart monitor today. That's like an important.
you want to talk about your to-do list on the show?
Yeah.
today?
Yeah, we don't need
No.
all the details. Raghunath.
Yeah.
Not that we're not concerned about your
Thumper.
little thumper. Every time I say that, you lose it.
Little thumper.
It's true.
All
Little
right,
ticker.
Mara. What's up with this?
We
What's
have
up?
Bhakti Recovery Group meetings today at noon and 1:30. And also Wisdom of the Sages is going to India, October 17th through 31.
What? Also live on raghunath.yoga. Check out Chant Camp registration. Link is finally up. I got all these emails stuffed in there. What's up with the Chant Camp? It's happening with me and Mara and Dunya and Bali from the Mayapuris. And we're going to chant and we're going to learn songs and learn melodies and learn. So you go to the Chant Camp, sign up there and check it out. I'm also doing a yoga retreat with Nikki Haas in September too. That's going to be our winding down the year yoga retreat. If you're into yoga and bhakti, that's a good one for you if you want to visit the farm. And Chant Camp is on Labor Day weekend, way to wind up the summer.
August 30th.
All right.
We should also mention tomorrow's show will be back at 7 a.m. Eastern time.
7
Okay.
a.m. Eastern time. All right, we're back on schedule.
Right.
Okay.
We got a nugget.
Here's a nugget today, sir.
Who's it from?
This is from Aesop. You might have heard of him.
Aesop, yeah.
Yeah. I love people who can just rock one name. You know what I mean? I'm
Aesop.
Aesop. Whoa. Madonna, Aesop, Batman. It's like
Prince.
Prince.
Charo.
You got to be our age to understand who Charo is. Okay. So this is by Aesop. A crust eaten in peace is better than a banquet partaken in anxiety.
Ooh, a crust.
A crust, a piece.
When they say crust, does it mean like a good chunk of bread, or does it just mean
it means an
actually just a
old
crust?
piece of bread.
Okay, it's kind of
An old
crusty.
piece of bread, like with a little crusty, a little harder. A crust eaten piece is better than a banquet in anxiety.
You know, we've been hearing a lot about acceptance, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a lot of it reads as kind of austere. You know, this person's just lying on the ground. He's not making any endeavor for comforts in life. Is that a good life? You know, but I think we gotta get to the essence of what it's all about, really, is that by minimizing one's so-called needs,
Mm-hmm.
one's actually, they're also minimizing anxiety,
Sure.
right? We might hear like, oh, living such an austere life that it gives me anxiety just thinking about it. You know, I never want
Right.
to live that way. But there's just a principle there to keep things simple enough so that you don't bring anxiety into your life. So the more that you try to every step, just watch, be observant that every step that you make for unnecessary comforts or unnecessary pleasures, unnecessary luxuries, that with that, things start to get more complicated. Things start to get, you know, the anxiety starts to come on, and you don't leave space in the mind for contemplation. You don't leave space for meditation. You don't leave space for that spiritual end of life, which is it can be so elusive.
Sure. Can I give you a perfect, practical, real life example for a rock and roller?
Rock and roller.
Yeah, rock and roll. So, you know, for years, most of us toured, most of my friends, we toured in vans.
Okay.
And then at a certain point, the bands
I
get
know
a
what you
little bigger and they get on, we tour in a van, travel around America. One guy's laying on the loft, if there's a loft in the van or something like that,
Yeah.
going town to town, maybe stay at a hotel if you got some money, maybe stay at somebody's house otherwise. Then
Got the
somebody
bus
gets on a
level.
major label. And so the major label's like, well, we'll lend you money. They call it tour support, where they lend money. It's your money, but they're lending it to you so you can travel. Now, they don't understand that we've been touring in vans our whole life. We've figured out traveling before we met the major label, but they're like, no, we'll give you tour support. And for a band, they're like, oh, they're basically giving us, it's like giving a kid a credit card who doesn't understand that this is their money. So they got a tour bus. And the first time you ever go on a tour bus, if you're a band like of my caliber, you're like, oh my
We
God,
made it.
we each get our own bunk bed. What? There's a driver. What? There's a little hangout set area where you can like read a book and there's a bowl of fruit on the table. It's it's unbelievable. And you can drive for like 14 hours, like through the night, and wake up and you're in a whole nother part of Europe or America. And you're like, this is so incredible. And then on the next tour, they're like, yeah, well, you have the option of going back to a van tour. And you're like, no way. I can never go back in a van.
Can
It's
never
like
go back.
once you've tasted that luxury, there's such incredible pain in going backwards. So that's why your beautiful point is get comfortable with simplicity. Because once you get into luxury, to cut back like that, once you enjoy that, it's one thing if you're a renunciate and they say, okay, you're going to get this right now. Fine. And then we're going to take everything away. Fine. If you can develop that middle. I remember your guru said to me once,
What do you say?
I was with your guru, and your guru is like a big, powerful guru, gets offered a lot of everything. And someone challenged him in a joking way. Oh, Maharaj, you like all these opulences. And he turned around and looked at the guy and said, I'll take nothing. I'll be happy with nothing. You know what I mean? He was like, he was serious, but sort of like he played back in a joking way. We got to if we can learn to be happy with nothing, then you could be happy with everything and detached from everything. We're not saying like opulence is bad. We're saying that you got to learn to be happy with nothing or else you'll suffer. Don't curse the people who have stuff. Feel bad for them if they're attached, right? It's the attachment that causes the pain. Just like you can have nothing, like if you see a guy, a homeless guy pushing a cart, and he's got a bunch of garbage in it, cans, clothes. If you were to steal something from that cart, he would lose his mind. He'd freak out because it's not like he's a renunciate, a tapasvi, etc. He's actually very, very attached, but in the mode of ignorance, and maybe has some mental illness or something. But he's very attached to it. So it's the attachment that causes the pain, not the stuff.
Yeah, it's a sense of proprietorship.
A sense of proprietorship, yes.
Yeah, it's really that's what's causing the trouble. There's the second chapter of the Gita, the way it winds down is very beautiful, but it has that one text, text 71, 271 in the Bhagavad Gita, a person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, and who has given up all sense of proprietorship, right? And is devoid of false ego, that person alone can attain real peace. And so that's, the Sanskrit, they use this word nirmama, right? Nirmama, not mine. That's, so you're right. Like even, a pauper running around, with a grocery, basket full of, junk as their only possessions. If you take it, they still might freak out. Why are you taking what's mine? Whereas someone may be very wealthy and feel none of this is actually mine. I'm just a steward of all of this energy, of all of these resources. They're not for me. And I think that's what's being taught here, that we're about to go into more directions about how to live life and the different rituals one performs or the different regulations one adopts. And we should always understand that there's a meaning behind these. It's meant to cultivate certain mindsets that allow us to be free. And right down to the essence of that is the letting go of the sense of proprietorship. And we were saying that the other day, manasa deho geho, my mind, that's not mine, I offer it. My home, my body, that's not mine, I make it an offering. My home, that's not mine. All the things that we think of as mine, we say nirmama, but not just like in some kind of artificial sense, but like in a deep ontological sense, understanding that I'm just a spark. That's all I am, right? A spark. It's an eternal spark. It's a beautiful spark. It's a spark that's full of knowledge and bliss by nature eternally. But everything that it's passing through in this world really has nothing to do with it. Everything that I'm passing, that I pass through in this world, I really have no ontological connection to. Realize that. Doesn't mean that you have to behave like that all the time. Like you may take responsibility for stuff in this world, for people in this world, for circumstances, for even so-called property in this world. But you realize on a deeper level, none of it's my property. I have no sense of proprietorship over any of it. I'm just this little spark floating, being blown through this, universe, taking on so many different forms. Ultimately, I just need to get back to the real shelter, to the spiritual energy.
Beautiful.
All right, Bama. That pink shirt, Raghunath,
Yeah,
you don't own it. You don't own it.
No, I don't. I use it to attract you to spiritual life in this world.
Thank you.
It's helping
Not
you.
sure how it works, but thank you. All right, you ready?
Yep.
You seem distracted.
I'm a little distracted.
Put it down. Oh, you got your phone in your hand. Mara,
You know why? You know why? I'm trying to tell my daughter what to do here. She's asking, what chores can I do? She's trying to be a good daughter. what chores. She's sending me like text messages of, what are my chores today? Mowing the lawn.
That's a little
That's
focus.
nice kids. You know what I mean? Yeah, sure, they're a little lazy. A little bit lazy. What? She's like, what? No,
That's
no,
not fair.
but that's not fair. You know what? Actually, no. I was just thinking today, kids. I really like my kids. Oh,
Good,
really.
good. That's good to know.
Yes. No, I
You
really
like
no,
them?
because sometimes you get to a point where like I don't like my kids. I like my kids a lot. They're very sweet. They should be. I feel like I missed a whole stage of mean kidness with these kids.
Yeah, your kids didn't go through
They didn't
that.
go through the mean rebel. You know what? I was watching a movie on the plane yesterday, and there was like a really mean teenage
kid?
daughter. I was like, Sachi was never mean.
Oh.
Always nice to me. Okay. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva vadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki, by regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome in the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksudan Midatam Yena Tazmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, Text 14. Ooh, that's magic. That's magic stuff.
Definitely another miracle.
Yeah. I was, you know what I was listening to on the plane? I downloaded some videos on YouTube of people who are missing persons. Missing persons who have just disappeared and they refound. And it's like they disappeared in the middle of the night and they found all their stuff like walking through the snow to the end of Lake Michigan or something like that. And there's no way they could have fallen through the ice. So the ice was too thick. But then no footprints, nothing. And then all of a sudden the guy wakes up in like Pittsfield, Massachusetts or something. It's quite local to us. I didn't have anything to do with it. But my point is that people like disappearing and then waking up somewhere else and gone for like 10 months and have no idea where they were, how they got there, what happened to them.
Do you suspect alien abduction?
Well, I personally, I'm suspecting demigod or demon abductions. That's what I'm suspecting. But I think it's interesting that it's a phenomenon. These things happen. It's not like, oh, this is one weird, crazy guy who made up the story. It's like a phenomenon that occurs again and again.
Could it be a phenomenon that just occurs in the chemicals of the brain?
No, they find evidence of this guy and there's nothing there anymore.
What do you mean?
The person's footprints to nothing. It's as if even the reporters it's as if he went into thin air. Airlift. Air.
Okay.
I'm just saying, these things happen.
Thanks for bringing that in, Raghunath. Maybe we can get to the Bhagavatam now.
Well, that is part of the Bhagavatam. People are always getting abducted. The whole Mahabharata. We listen to
who's
Mahabharata.
speaking here now? In the
Okay.
Bhagavatam? Who's speaking?
Where are we in the Mahabharata?
We're not in the Mahabharata. We're in the Bhagavatam. So we're hearing from Narada. He's speaking to
Vidura.
Oh God, you are.
It's been like 30 hours traveling.
That was like three cantos ago.
Where are we?
Prahlad or Python?
Prahlad and the Python Man.
No, Python Man was last chapter.
Okay. What is it? Shame Raghunath Day? Just tell us where we are.
You just own your own shame, man. I didn't even have to do anything. Yeah, he's speaking to Yudhishthira. He's given the instructions about. Think about it, Raghu. You can pull it together.
Okay, he's talking to Yudhishthira. Oh, he's talking about the ideal householder, right?
Thank you. Yeah. So instructions for householders for that stage in life where there's some allowance for material enjoyment, sex, money, comforts of home, children, all these things, kind of the good things in material life, right?
Oh, yeah.
That you're right in the middle of it all. But there comes responsibility with that, and a way of passing through that wherein
Mm.
you don't develop that sense of proprietorship, right?
Mhm.
That's going to become real important. So he's instructing him now. And why don't we pick up, what was it, text 14 you said?
Yeah. An intelligent person should be satisfied with eating prasad, food offered to the Lord. That's what prasad is.
Mhm.
Or with performing the 5 different kinds of yajna or panchasuna, right? By such activities, one can give up attachment for the body and so-called proprietorship
There you
with
go.
reference to the body. When one is able to do this, he is firmly fixed in the position of a Mahatma.
What do
You know,
you see yourself as the proprietor of, Raghunath? Just like when you're not on it, like when you're not, you know.
well, I think that you don't even realize it until you're like dying. When you're dying, you realize all the things I'm very attached to.
Mm.
Even especially your own body. We have as spiritual as you and me are, Kaustubha. You and I both think, like we have some like ego about us, like we think we look like, you dress very simply, but this is not you, this is everybody. But you think
Where
like
are you
you
going?
think you're sitting there looking cool, or right? I think I pick out these glasses. I think these glasses look good on me. I'm sure you put on those glasses, say, these look good on me. You look at your face, you think I look good like this. When you're dying and your face is shriveling, there's this sense of like, I'm losing this. I'm losing any like attachment to my idea of I'm attractive or beautiful or, respectable. You lose all that. So we have these attachments that we don't even know we have. I think sometimes when we clean out our closet, we realize, well, I'm attached to that. I don't even wear this thing. It's been in my closet for years. I'm attached to these shoes that I bought. I'm attached. Sometimes we go through photos. I'm attached to my kids' artwork when they were in kindergarten. I never look at it. It stays in this closet. It's nice to bust out occasionally. So, so yeah, there are gross and subtle attachments that we have. And our idea is that we got to shift that. We got to become attached to Krishna. We got to become attached to Krishna Seva, to
Sure.
Vaishnava Seva. And that's how we actually get rid of it's not like you have to live in a tiny home necessarily, but you have to understand like nothing's ours. It's all on loan. We don't get to keep anything. It's as if your home it seems like yours, your gardens, the trees you planted, your house that you painted and worked on and created. This is like a hotel room. No one gets attached to a hotel room, right? No, you don't. You're not going to decorate your hotel room when you go to it. You understand? I got to leave this, even if you like your hotel room. Oh,
You don't go out to IKEA to get something to
yeah. I'm going to
brighten up
extend
the hotel room.
the night table. Think I need a little bigger night table. No, you don't get. So you have to look at it like that. And sometimes it hurts because the soul wants something eternal, and they want something eternal in a temporary place. Isn't that frustrating? We want something eternal. We want a feeling of I'm going home. And even when we come to our house, we feel like, oh, this is my home. And there's something very healthy. There's something healthy being in a punk rock band because it was as if for years we never had a home. We were just like sort of bouncing around in the back of a car. It sort of prepared me for being a brahmachari, which you never really have a home, you
Okay.
know? And that being said, and maybe we need some type of even temporary home for some mental stability. But I will say it helped me become a little detached.
Okay.
Maybe,
You just
maybe
ran
it'll
out of
be.
energy right there. There you want to take a nap? You go ahead, Baba Ganoush. I'll
I'm
take a
feeling a
picture.
little melancholy right now.
But this text is also speaking to kind of the regulation. Traditionally, what householders would do is that they would perform yagna, right? Like for us bhakti yogis in the age that we live in, generally the idea is that we have some altar in the home, and at that altar, it becomes a kind of a central focus. It kind of there's many practical ways where if you're going to do it right, it regulates when you wake
Yeah.
up and when you go to sleep. It regulates you in terms of keeping the place clean.
Yeah.
And it also becomes a place where offerings are made. Now, other Vedic paths may not have had like an altar like with Radha and Krishna on it, but they may have had like a fire, right? Like a lot of the homes were built with like a central courtyard,
Yeah.
and then in the middle of that courtyard, you'd have this fire pit, right? That you build. It's a nice one. You lay down bricks or stones in some way, or even earth. They kind of make it nice. And that through mantra and through ritual, that fire kind of is recognized as like the place to make offerings, like
The Lord.
the mouth
Recognized
of
as
the Lord.
the Lord,
And so then with mantras, one chants, which are full of meaning about how all of this is coming from God, and now I'm returning to God as an offering. You're offering ghee, you're offering grains into that with the mantra, and you do that. They would often do it like morning and evening, And so why? What's with this ritual? What's the point? The idea is I can go ahead and say, yeah, I don't own anything. This is all the energy of God or something. But still, that sense of proprietorship is built deep within us.
Mm.
And so through this consistent, steady, day by day meditation, it's really it's a meditation that's kind of enhanced or strengthened through using external ingredients, so that you can involve your eyes and your ears, your senses in it. But imagine you do a meditation where you say, "Dear Lord, everything that you've given to me, I recognize that it all actually belongs to you. I return it to you as an offering. I seek your blessings in all that I do. Just as I'm making this offering here, I offer you my heart, I offer you my life, I offer you my body, my mind, my words, etc." You make that a daily ritual, then that it becomes rooted in your awareness, and you begin to see the world through that vision.
Mm.
Now you're free, right? Now you're free.
You said that very nicely.
Oh, thank you, Raghunath.
Very
And
clear.
I
No,
just
that was very clear.
thank you.
Yeah.
And a little deeper, here's talking about the food that we eat, right? Like
Sure.
giving up the sense of proprietorship right down to the most basic fundamental sustenance, right? Like what do we all have in common? We all eat. I mean, none of us are around if we don't eat.
Right.
It's the one thing we got to do. We got to do it, pretty much several times a day. That's the most fundamental, basic way we're sustained, is the food. So this culture goes right down to that point and says, okay, every meal that you have, everything that it's also one of the most fundamental ways that we enjoy life, is through food. So think of it all. When you do that daily activity, don't do it saying, oh, I acquired this, now it's mine, now I enjoy it. Actually prepare that meal again as an offering to God, and then honor it only after he does, like as if it would be wrong for you to take something that's not yours. And so that near mama, that giving up the sense of proprietorship right down to the most fundamental activity, the food that we eat, is reinforced in one's awareness through this type of yagna or sacrifice.
Two interesting things I want to say about prasad, food offered to God. So
Powerful.
there's one story, famous story about Prabhupada's guru, because when you're a new devotee, you start to think, okay, we eat prasad, and then when you move outside the temple, you might think, or at least I thought, well, it's like everything's got to be prasad, because in the temple, all the devotees are cooking the prasad for you, so everything's already prasad. You don't have to think twice about it. But when you live outside the temple, if you weren't the cook or something, maybe you're thinking, well, I'll offer this, but I won't offer this. I'll offer this, but I won't offer this. Anyway, that's how I thought. But then you heard this story, the famous story about Bhakti Siddhanta when he was a little boy.
Like
He
4
ate
or
a
something?
mango. He ate a mango
That wasn't offered.
that wasn't offered. And his father said, did you offer that? He said, no. And he said, you took a mango and you took a mango and you didn't offer to the Lord. First we offer everything to the Lord. And he said, as a young boy, he made this vow. You're right. I'm a thief. And therefore, for the rest of my life, as a child, he makes this vow, I will never eat mangoes. And even in his older age, when his disciples offered him a mango, he said, "No, I cannot take. I am an offender."
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing. They keep these vows like, I'm an offender. I think it like this. I was also thinking, so in my days of early, like living outside the ashram, after I lived in the ashram, I thought, well, these devotees, they eat tons of prasad. Maybe better we just eat healthy food and just eat a little bit of it. And who cares if it's prasad or not? And then I was reading the history of Maharaj Jai Singh, who was the sort of the founder of the city of Jaipur. And he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna and a powerful king. And he had this deal where no matter where he traveled all over the world, he would not eat anything except Krishna prasad, period. And he was a king. You think, well, if he's a king, he's probably eating, he's probably going out to fine restaurants or probably has people, he's doing all these things. He's in London now. He would go to London, but he would go to London with gigantic vessels, silver vessels. You can see these
They're really
truthfully
big.
in the Guinness Book of Records. These are in the two biggest solid pieces
They're
of
in the
silver.
palace in Jaipur.
Yeah, they're silver lotus. And he would carry Ganga water with him wherever he went. And he would only bathe with, cook with, and drink Ganges water.
That's imagine carrying that thing around.
Imagine carrying that around.
I mean, that's how
I'm sure
heavy
he
it was.
wasn't carrying it.
It was like basically bringing 2 swimming pools around with you wherever you go. Those things are big.
Yeah, imagine having a ship to go to London. You're like, okay, bring the lotus forward. Yeah, this Hindu's rituals. He's got these cups of things of water. Anyway, the interesting thing is, people make these vows, and perhaps people on like extreme diets, perhaps make your vow you only eat Krishna prasad.
Make that a vow.
Make that a vow, because when that's your vow, I only eat Krishna prasad. There's a lot of times you're gonna have to skip a meal. Yeah. You're like, I don't want. I'm pretty impressed with Kaustubha. We went to this incredible, delicious Mexican restaurant. I was sort of impressed with you, and it's sort of like, who does this guy think he is?
Loser. He has no idea how to enjoy. Embracing these mundane rituals. Gracias Madre.
We went to Gracias Madre, great vegan place. We went out with a whole crowd of Wisdom of Sages people for Mara's birthday. I lost my mind. What happened? We're all sitting there, and everyone's got this refined Mexican food like you've never eaten before. And Kaustubha's like, okay, I can't eat any of this stuff. It's got garlic in it. I was like, who is this guy? He's not going to eat. We're at a restaurant for Mara's birthday. I thought you were just going to sip a guava juice or something. And he goes, no. He's like, I'll take a sliced avocado and a corn chip. I was like,
I didn't like the corn chips.
First of all, and fried plantains. And first of all, I was like, oh, this guy's eating carmy corn chips.
Yeah.
I'm like finding fault with you as any way I could.
No, I'm going to confess. I'm going to give you a confessional right now, Raghunath, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
But this is all on point. Don't pull out any squirrel or anything. So I was flying to, as I've discussed on the show, I think already, I was flying to California.
Yeah.
And but I got there at 3 p.m. for like a 5:30 flight on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And they kept delaying it again and again. So in all those hours, from 5 until 1:30 in the morning, I just was in the airport walking around. Sometimes I'm on the plane, sometimes I'm taking us off the plane. And you have a chance to look around. Is there anything here that I can eat? Because I'm here for so long now. Stay with me, Raghunath.
Hold on a second. I'm getting garlic shamed on the message board right now. Thanks, everybody.
Don't worry.
Now that I have Mara in my life, I'm getting I'm
going to join you in your shame
all the time. I'm getting garlic shamed by a few people on the message board.
I'm going to join you in your shame. I'm going to take it a step further. Okay, I'm going to be the most. I'm going to come out of this the most shameful guy.
Team right now.
Come
on, let me hear you.
Okay, so I'm looking around. There's nothing here for me to eat at this place. You know what I'm saying?
Onion pakora. What's going on here?
And so then I stay up to 1:30, and then they finally tell us, oh, the flight's not going to go tonight. Come back. We're going to fly at 11 tomorrow. So I'm going back into the city, and I left you those messages, you and Linda. Like, am I meant to go to California? Maybe I'm not supposed to go there. I get home, it's like 2:30 in the morning. I fall asleep at about 3 o'clock or something like that. I sleep for just a few hours. I got to get up, and you guys convinced me to go. So okay, then I'm heading back out to the airport. I don't have any food in the house now. I'm doing the whole trip, and I don't have any prepared food like I did for the previous day.
Ooh, what did you eat, Kaustubha?
And it's early in the morning, but the one thing that I saw in that place is they had this pizza place where they're making pizza. Like
Oh
it
yeah.
was a serious looking pizza. I mean, I was quite impressed.
Right. Okay.
And
And
things.
now he's dipping into the nana himsa cheese.
So, so I'm saying,
Unless they
you know
have their
what?
own
I wasn't
private cow
gonna, I
back
wasn't
there
gonna
that-
have
that
this
were taken
pizza.
care of.
I said I wasn't gonna have this pizza yesterday, but now maybe there's a need. Like
A
now I
need,
don't have
okay.
any food. I hardly ate yesterday. I got a whole day of travel across the country. I think it's wise that I eat a little something,
I think
even
it's
though
wise. Isn't it great how the
I think
intelligence
Should I
justifies?
rationalize it.
I think it's wise.
I
You
think
know, I
it's the
wouldn't
right thing to
normally do
do.
this, of course, but
I'll go ahead and I'll
it's wise
spend
to eat pizza in
$18.
Stromboli.
$18 for this pizza,
Yeah.
But it's an impressive looking pizza.
Was it good?
Well, I'm about to get there. But at first I'm thinking this pizza's too big. Maybe like I could split it with someone or something like that. I'm saying? And there's hardly anybody there. It's
Kaustubha
early.
looking around the airport. You want to share a pizza with me?
That's exactly what I was doing. It's like anyone that walked up and said, "You want to share a pizza? I'll split a margarita with you." And anyway, no one did that. So I bought the whole pizza.
Okay.
Then I'm sitting down and I'm like, okay, I'll make an offering of whatever way I can, of this pizza. I'm offer it to Krishna, I'll do that. Prabhupada said sometimes, we purify just by buying it, because you put in the energy that you had to get it. Okay.
You've got a whole list
Rational-
of justifications, don't you?
Okay.
Prabhupada said
Have
something like,
fun.
okay.
Shame me all you want. Get it out of your system because it's going to get worse. So then I take my first bite of that pizza, which is granted like a well-prepared pizza.
Okay.
That thing it's like they soak the thing in garlic. It's just like, it's
Yeah.
so strong.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my, I'm like, this is disgusting, like,
Yeah.
and now what do? Do I waste the whole thing?
No, you
Do I
eat
sit
it
here and
all.
ingest this
And
garlic?
Look at it as medicine.
I was kind of doing, I was just
It's
saying,
like
okay.
I'm taking antibiotics right now in the form
I'm
of
like,
pizza.
and now I'm going to say, okay, I'm not going to waste the thing. And I do need fuel for the day and I'm
Fuel.
eating it, but I'm saying there's no way Krishna accepted this thing. It's just so soaked in garlic.
Offer
it's-
to the demigods.
And I'm eating that thing and I'm eating it. And then I finally finish it and I feel totally dissatisfied. Like I shouldn't have spent the money. I shouldn't have eaten the
You're
thing.
picturing a little Raghunath on your shoulder.
But then, then this is the real clincher right now. And then I realized it was a Kadashi. Enjoy that one, Raghunath. Relish that right there.
Forget relishing it. I'm going to keep that in my Kaustubha shame file cabinet.
And I said, oh, man. It was just not worth it. It's Krishna speaking to me. And then when we went to Gracias Madre, no, I did get one other dish. I found like the one thing that didn't have onion and garlic in it, but still I felt dissatisfied eating it. I walked out of Gracias Madre saying, Gracias Madre, like, thank you, Mother, for letting me know that I'm really not meant to eat food, only if I really need to. Like sometimes you're traveling and there's no other way. But
It's nice
I
to
can't
have.
enjoy it.
I appreciate your standards.
I can't enjoy it.
And I've been eating pretty much all prasad and healthy food. But when I sometimes I do out go out to restaurants and I eat their garlicky things. And I don't beat myself up about it either. I say, you know what? It's a special night tonight.
Okay, right.
I do. That's what I do.
That is it.
I'm just going to be straightforward with it. It's a special night tonight. I don't hate myself.
In other words, you're shameless.
I'm
Oh, he lost. Oh, he's down. He's down. He's on the ground.
He's on the floor. Of course.
Okay, but I walked away just deeper conviction. I don't want to eat like that,
That's a good one.
Shameless. Okay, control her. Pull it together. So, but you know what? Also in the Bhagavad-gita, we have it right there where like the act of eating, the most fundamental sustenance, the most fundamental human activity, eating. Krishna's saying that he enters into that food, by the power of the sun, by the power of the moon. He becomes the life inside the vegetables that we eat. And then he says, I become I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, the prana, outgoing and incoming to digest the different kinds of food. So
Mm.
it's like everything is meant to be a meditation in bhakti practically, like, right? Including how we eat, how we offer what we eat, how we meditate when we're eating it. That's really meant to always be bringing our mind back. And the sense of proprietorship should be like nil. It's just like the ant gets its food, how? God provides it. How does the elephant get its food?
Mm.
God provides it. How do we get our food? Oh, I go out and work for it. No, God provides it, right?
Right.
God not only provides it, but God also digests it for us and energizes our body with it. We make it as an offering to Him with genuine affection.
Mm.
What prayer do you chant when you make your offering, Raghunath?
My dear Lord Krishna, just as actually I say a bunch of deities' names. My dear Radha Brindavan Bihari, just as you've accepted the offerings of the wives of the Brahmins, just as you've accepted the milk sweets of the gopis, just as you've accepted the banana peels of Vidura Rani, and just as you accepted the breast milk of Mother Yasoda, will you please accept this offering? And I'll
May it please
name
you
what
like
I'm
that.
offering with, and then I'll chant Namo Mahabharanyaya and Namo Brahmanya Devaya and
So
Panchatapa
Krishna's saying,
Mahabharata.
oh, just say those again. What was the first one?
Just as you've accepted the offerings of the wives of the Brahmins, and I
So that's
meditate on that, like
10th
Krishna's
canto,
accepted.
Bhagavatam.
Right. The
Pleased him
wives
so
of the
much.
Brahmins offered with so much love in their heart.
Pleased
And
him
then
so
just
much.
as you've accepted the milk sweets of the gopis,
I mean, come on.
just as you've accepted the breast milk of Mother Yasoda, and just as you've accepted the banana peels of the wife of Vidura,
Which
right?
she offered.
Offered-
She offered the wrong item, but with complete,
with lots of love.
with so much love.
Not only the wrong item, the inedible wrong
Part of the
item.
wrong-
You
yeah.
can't eat the banana peel. I think this is a big part as well, is our meditation. Chandrabhaga is mentioning on the message board too. It's like when you're offering, even if you're eating the Krishna prasad, we should be off. There's a meditation that this is Krishna's mercy. That's important, and that thought alone purifies what you're doing.
Yeah, yes, Raghunath. And I love Chandrabhaga's point there. She says, better to have, going back to the nugget, better have a crust than the most tasty morsel of well-prepared food, because she immediately feels anxiety when what she eats is not prasadam. That
Well,
anxiety we accept, right?
this is the story of Duryodhana offering the fine food to Krishna.
Yeah, right.
And Krishna, it's the best feast he could have offered. And Krishna's like, sort of not hungry. And he sort of like walks away from it. He's like, Krishna, look what we made for you. You've been traveling all day. Please take this food I made for you. And Krishna's not interested in the finest foods, but he went to Vidura's house and ate the banana peels that she was lovingly, in her rapture of love, she was throwing the bananas on the floor
Mistakenly,
and shoving the banana peels in Krishna's mouth. And Krishna was chewing them and not protesting whatsoever. He was just
enjoying
chewing them and nodding and enjoying them. And when
because it's
Vidura
the
saw
love that he
when
accepts.
Vidura saw what was going on, what are you doing to Lord Krishna? He's the Lord of our life, the Lord of the demigods. Our daily meditation, you're feeding him banana peels? And he just said, oh, Vidura, these are the sweetest banana peels I've ever eaten. It's not even food. And Krishna is appreciating the love of his devotee.
Good point, Raghu. Here's a principle illustrated through a metaphor, but a powerful one that we can adopt, and we can try to deepen it as we grow in our bhakti. You ready? The Cataka bird.
The Cataka bird.
So here's a bird. Most birds, they go around, they sip water wherever they can find it.
Yeah, no, not the Cataka bird.
Cataka bird says, I'm not interested in all that dirty water on the ground.
Trivia, Mara, where does the Cataka bird get his water from? I'll give you. Yes.
Yeah, Mara pulls it
I
out
was gonna go.
of nowhere.
Like he's trying to stump me. I know this one.
Yes.
Okay.
So this bird says, I only drink the rain, right? So it might have to wait a very long time, but it's not going to lower its standard. It has a standard. I accept only the rainwater. and then sits there with his mouth wide open, looking towards the sky. So like that's a principle that can apply in our life in many ways. Like for instance, what we read, what we listen to, who we associate with, and also what we eat. So that idea that within one's heart, one says, I will only eat what's already been offered to Krishna. I don't eat anything else. That's a powerful meditation. It's a powerful conviction in one's heart. It's a powerful expression of devotion.
Sure.
I don't want anything that, it's kind of like, imagine you're like a mother and you cook for your family and, your kids come home. I don't want to eat anything unless you cook it, Mom. It's like, I love you so much, like it's something like that, my
that way
heart is given.
your tongue and your passions are tied to Krishna. I mean, people do it anyway with gluten. People do it anyway with intermittent fasting. Hey, do you want something to eat? No, I don't eat till 1 o'clock. We're already doing these things anyway. Imagine if the restriction was Krishna prasad.
Yeah.
It's one way.
It's one way.
Some people say, well, I don't have time for japa. Well, maybe that's your vow then. You only eat Krishna prasad. How about bathing? Next time anybody gets in the water, I will chant a Ganga mantra. And you could just say, the most simple one is just saying Ganga, 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 and meditating on Ganga.
Yeah.
And that calls Ganga into the water. You could be bathing in the Ganga every time you take a bath.
Ganga.
You gotta bathe anyway. Why not think of Ganga, Ganga,
You just
Ganga?
have
Or
to
Yamuna.
cry out Ganga, Ganga, Ganga 3 times very loud.
Yeah. Wake up the kids. Ganga. Right?
Yamuna.
Call the Yamuna.
Call the Yamuna.
Call the Yamuna into the water.
I got a email the other day from my wife. Her mother is like really into art and museums and all that kind of stuff. And her current thing that she's studying is like the painting, The Last Supper.
Yeah.
And so,
What are you laughing about?
yeah, why'd you say it
I'm
that way?
uninterested. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Not interested in.
I was thinking about the Olympics opening
wanna
game,
share?
but go on.
Okay. So my wife wrote me like, do you know of any kind of connection between the Last Supper and bhakti, or what its meaning is? Honestly, I know very little about it, which is shameful considering I was
It
raised
is
in it.
pretty shameful.
But
Today's
from what I
shame
understand-
day.
But
It's shame day Tuesday.
But from what if I'm not totally mistaken, I believe that the ritual of the Eucharist is derived out of the Last Supper, isn't it? Where he's like telling the
This is
disciples,
my body. Yeah, this is my body.
this is my blood. Yeah,
Take
and
this,
so
all of you.
whenever I was a kid, I would think of like going to church. I always thought of it in terms of like this lecture.
Right.
But really, the lecture is just like kind of the opening to the ritual. The whole point to the thing is that there's this ritual whereby ordinary bread becomes the body of God and ordinary wine becomes the blood of God, and you ingest that into your body, and and get purified in some way through that. And so they, the Catholics will once a week go there where the priest will perform the ritual where they can eat and drink that which they believe has some kind of powerful spiritual potency. We in Krishna Bhakti, we're like, no, actually everything that we eat, there's a ritual for every single thing that we eat. We actually offer it to God. And we also feel, we don't say it's the body of Krishna, but we do say it's non-different from Krishna.
Yeah.
It's like you're ingesting pure spiritual Krishna energy into your body.
The Last Supper. Yeah.
And so that being said, although it sounds crazy, the fact is that people that live that way, it has a powerful effect. That don't underestimate the power of prasad. That's my point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it there.
You have a lot of power. Can I make a confession? I don't think I've ever
what
told
did you
anybody
do?
this.
Just because I did the garlic thing, if we don't want to hear too much, that's okay.
I went to a brothel.
TMI.
No, the confession is this. Me and my friend, when we were younger, we stole a pack of unoffered communion wafers. Never
You
told
stole a
anybody
pack of them. How many are in a pack?
Like 30 in a pack, something like that.
30 pack. What did you do?
You were
with it?
somehow backstage in a church.
What did you do with it?
We just sort of.
What in the world were you thinking? Like,
I don't know. Hey, check it out. A pack of wafers. Let's take
Let's
them.
steal it.
Let's. I know. Steal. What do you want to take the
That
express
doesn't even
train to
taste
hell?
good or anything like that. If
I
your
would
mother
like the
found out
super
about that.
I would like the direct, the bullet train to hell.
Were you
steal
a,
from the Catholic
were you
Church.
an altar boy or something?
I was somehow connected. I think because maybe we were Boy Scouts, we had like access to the church. Can't remember how we got them, but
All right.
oh.
Did you confess that in confession?
No, I didn't. I'm confessing.
Imagine
it
the
right
priest would
now.
say, "What
This
the
is
hell's the
confession.
matter with
You're
you?"
a priest. I'm confessing it to you.
Dear, please forgive me, Father. I stole 30 unoffered Eucharist wafers. What the
Although
hell's the matter
Bhakti-
with you, kid?
I think in Bhakti, in our tradition, we say it's sort of okay to steal prasad, don't we?
Yeah, we do
That's
actually.
after it's offered.
That's after,
After
it's
it's
offered.
offered.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Take-
So if you go to a priest and just yank it out of his hands and run, that's okay.
Don't steal the wine.
Don't steal the wine.
You want some takeaways? Today?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Take it away.
Minimize needs to minimize anxiety.
Nice one. There
I tell you, when I laugh hard like that, I feel like I'm going to die.
You went down, Raghunath.
Yeah, you did.
I feel like it's like my life airs get disturbed. I'm like, I don't know where I am. I lose like my
But maybe
memory.
do you feel better coming out of it? Like maybe that good laugh is needed.
Maybe it's good for me, but I don't feel like sick, but I feel like I might leave
You
my
might
body.
be possessed by spirits.
Yeah.
That could be it. Or the thumper.
The
You
thumb.
gotta
Easy
watch
on
out
the
for
Imagine,
thumper.
imagine if I die on the podcast. I'd hope there'd be a little, you guys would save a little Zoom space for me.
Okay.
Like in honor of Raghunath, we're going to
No
keep this
picture of
little
you there?
window open.
Keep a little cardboard cutout.
Little cardboard cutout live on Zoom. And good morning, Raghunath, whoever
Good
you
morning,
get to
Raghunath.
replace me.
Okay.
After it.
Mara?
Get comfortable with simplicity.
Yeah, get comfortable with the simplicity. Nice, nice.
Good morning, Raghunath.
The sense of proprietorship causes pain.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it does. It will.
Anxiety.
It will. Anxiety. Because whatever you think you have, you also know in the very back of your mind, You're gonna lose it. you're going to lose it.
Shift your attachment to Krishna and Vaishnava Seva.
Very good. Very good.
Shaunak Rishi says it's a picture of a squirrel.
Settle down, Raghunath. This isn't
How
all about
me
you.
sitting
Okay?
with a bunch of squirrels.
Let Mara
You know,
read her
almost like
takeaways.
who's the patron saint of animals? Saint Francis.
Uh-huh. Lots of squirrels.
Like feeding all these squirrels. That's how we'll remember you, Raghunath. Okay, go on.
Krishna appreciates the love of his devotee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't underestimate the power of prasad.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Be
Powerful.
like the Cataka bird.
Cataka bird is our meditation for today.
Yeah. Lay back, open your mouth, drink rainwater.
And
That's
Mhm.
it. Okay.
don't decorate your hotel room.
You don't need to. It's not
You don't need to.
yours. Near mama.
Near Mama. Thanks everybody for joining us. Woo! Community supported podcast. If you want to support what we're doing, you like what we're doing, go to our new supporting website. You just go to, it's not Patreon anymore. If you're on Patreon, switch over to this one. It helps. Patreon takes a maha cut of any people's contribution. A maha cut. So go to wisdomofsages.com and you can live a monthly contribution of your choice, and we really appreciate it. Thank you very much for those
Hey.
who are appreciating it. And
Ooh.
it's not like we're stockpiling gold either. We are trying to build out this thing, our sage groups, all these other things that we're doing, and trying to blow this thing up more and more and more. Our goal is to spread bhakti all around the world for everybody, make it super easy, accessible.
And we're going to be, in the coming days, we're going to be releasing recordings from the past weekend in LA.
Ooh, like what recordings?
Well, I recorded my stuff. Did you record yours?
No.
I guess it's
You
going to be my
expect me to
stuff.
remember and record myself?
I do.
I haven't done that.
Mara, it's going to have to be you then.
We had
You
some good
got to
times,
put
though.
that in your portfolio, the record Raghunath when he does. It's this
Thanks
precious
everybody
stuff.
thanks for everybody joining us live on Zoom. It's sort of fun to be on Zoom. Where what time are we on tomorrow? 6 a.m. 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Don't be frustrated, people. 9 a.m. people. We used to do this at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. people used to. Remember that? Anybody? Old schoolers?
Every
5
day.
a.m. They're all nodding. Yes, yes.
They're like, that's right. Back in the day.
We're giving you back in the day. I remember the old days was 5 a.m.
I look at Neil Maxwell.
Neil Maxwell representing on Merch Thursday. Ugh. Listen, I got a Wisma Sages shirt, Kaustubha, but it's the wrong size. They run a little small. It makes me